major in complexity, and we're about to get another one in either Liquid or Evil Geniuses. Now, this is a head-to-head where I feel like anything can kind of be possible, but we have to just look at Liquid and their, kind of turnaround since that loss to 0-0 Nation and think to ourselves that it's justifiable that they are their favorites coming into this matchup.
100%. I mean, I think that there is still this kind of undercurrent that with EG, if they play at their best, then they stand a decent chance. Like maybe this is a 2-1 game if they play really, really well. And the other huge upside is simply the fact that Stewie was huge in building the identity of Liquid and has brought that over towards EG, where he's building a brand new identity on that team. So from that perspective, they have some odds as well. They've only played one match against each other, just a best of one on Inferno, where Liquid won. It was a close game. But apart from that, it was just maybe only scrim practice that they've had since then.
There are 4 Berettas being held right here. Stewie and... there are 4 Berettas on the ground right there as Stewie and Cirque get absolutely rocked. Somebody called that strat. Yo, bro, just get Berettas, man. We post up. They're going to come around.
2 guns is better than 1.
And
Nah, fly.
Liquid take that pistol.
Any slothers?
All the slothers.
Yeah.
So Liquid win pistol. Why? Because they got some pretty quick kills on ramp. It was nothing but a quick clash. They knew what they wanted. They got what they wanted. And Evil Geniuses will be on the back foot coming off round 1. But man like Breeze has shown us some hot and cold performances, but has also been, I think, a key piece to what EG need to be successful. And even Stewie himself said it. He said, we need Breeze and we need Cirque to be in their comfort zone for our team to win.
Yeah.
They've identified them as the X factors, as their conditions to victory.
Now the thing is, I really appreciate that Stewie, how honest he's been about all the problems that the team has, about himself as the IGL and how much work that has to be done, and just being very transparent, especially publicly, about all these different things. But that doesn't really take the responsibility off him as well, right? As the system creator and the leader, the caller, and the guy who's known for really strong mid rounds, but not known so much for entire game plans and him calling from beginning to end. And that's why Fallen had to come in and be a support caller or be the early round caller while Stewie was the mid rounder later on. It's clear that he hasn't proven himself in that regard. Everyone who's played with him knows that he has really good comms, really good, clear, concise calls, really got ideas for what sites to go to, but that's not the whole story when it comes to what you need to have a whole roster working properly. And so even though he has a lot of work to do in figuring out how to get Cirque and Breeze comfortable, I'm sure he feels like and knows that a lot of that responsibility still is on him. We did have a situation under Stanislaw with the amount of structure that they had. Breeze and Cirque looked very good. Cirque was still inconsistent at the time, and that team did not work overall. But Breeze definitely very consistent, even cracking top 20 at one point with their old lineup. So that's got to be a question for him. Why can't we get him back to that level? So we'll see if he can figure that out.
Shox has been thrown to the front of this B play. Breeze was kind of sizing it up, felt as though it was coming. He put a smoke at the top of the stairs, but Shox being able to jump over the wooden wall didn't really disrupt that quick exit. So no surprise to see at least one be taken down by Shox. Good grenade here from Rush as well. Finishes off Nafly. And that's going to be a Liege back on quad, now dead to the Deeg of Cirque. Man advantage here for Evil Geniuses.
Kid as well on automatic.
Nitro and OC left standing.
Rush with the one smoke. This will make the big difference. Whoa. We dive in front of the plant. Automatic ready to explode, but eats the flash.
Oh, Nitro too, he's kind of still stuck behind this box. There's a defuse, was a defuse being stuck, and now Cirque's Deagle just kind of out of time, unfortunately. So nice little 2v3 post plant from Liquid. Just lean back after those grenades kind of caught them. The Deagles sort of caught them. More losses than Liquid would have liked, but it is still that conversion and the 2-0 start.
Be retakes always possible on Vertigo, and that's just the nature of the site. Quite open, really easy to nade over from mid, from the heaven boost. Tons of ways to get early damage in from that kind of cold position where you might jump into the site. You can peek quad from back there. So it's very hard to sit in the middle of the site if you're on the T side. But they still had a good idea of how to keep control of that situation despite the CT starting to get closer and closer. Now it looks like the stack on the A site with no T's exactly nearby for the meantime. Won't amount to anything, but they'll begin to take peeks. Okay, now they can actually clamp down on the A site slowly. Lee's working his way up. All the pistols have been surrounded.
Easy. That's so rough for Evil Geniuses, because Naf peels one off of the back from middle, so then everybody from EG turn around, look at their spawn, and suddenly you've got OC and Elige coming up the ramp. Yeah. So a real layer of deception there from Liquid to just easily secure a third. Keep those guns rolling forward, Mac 10 included for Nafly. And now we get to see the game truly begin. All right, Cirque's got the op, and I think Cirque really does need to perform if they're going to stop Liquid.
Yeah.
To me, though, you know, we look at North America, and sometimes I feel like there is this lack of oppers, right? That's why we imported Cirque to begin with. That's why Cirque was one of the best North American oppers in North America for X amount of time. He could very well have his hands full with this new OC, this level of OC that he's kind of found in this recent form. So I'm very curious how the op duel is going to unfold as this game goes on. But for now, we've got eyes prying into the B site. And Breeze, the other X factor of EG, sits comfortably on quad. Automatic towards construction, looking to help. Ooh. And Cirque forward in middle with that eye set up towards the push, but there's nobody there for Liquid. This creep up B ramp could really be the end all of the round as the utility falls onto Breeze. Oh. He's just caught with his smoke out. Really nice entry pathing from Shox to get out and catch them off guard. Naf runs wildly inwards with that Mac 10, but look at Cirque go. 2 quick op shots to shut down those front runners and at least keep a little life here for Evil Geniuses. They're going to take their chance. Stewie fighting over top of construction, thought he had a player pinned, but OC will spam through smoke to get him, and that's not going to stop EG, nor will it stop Liquid. Nitro decides to wrap around smoke, and this is all Cirque. Woo. The only thing that's gone well here for EG are these 3 kills from Cirque.
Yeah, that was some very, very good shooting from Cirque. We'll point that out first. But I think what stole the show, really, was Shox' routing. The execute behind it, him coming through the middle of the site was the huge play as well, because they didn't even think to throw any preemptive grenades to stop anything towards the stairs area on the B site. Instead, we're going to chill and wait to counter grenades, and their quad molly came out so late that Shox was already at default by the time Breeze was smoking it, and he didn't have time to shoot back. And that's where Breeze is the weakest, right? Even if he's really sharp, if he has to be busy doing something else, then he's going to be primed for the picking. So that's how Liquid got away with that one. And now EG will certainly be a bit more scared about the idea of just allowing for walk-ups because, yeah, that execute was very fierce. 4-0 and convincing. Yeah, the bit of solace here for EG is that Cirque had a fantastic round. His aim's on point. Momentum is this intangible in CSGO, but I feel like with Cirque, it feels like it does come down to that. A lot like Config, where he's talked about it. If I don't start off well, I don't really know how to get back into the game.
Sure.
If I'm hot, I go crazy, and I kind of get that same energy coming off of Cirque. I don't know what he would say about it.
Shox has already been employed really nicely. Multiple routes he's used to get into B site. Been pretty essential on the jump up behind the wood wall. And that last round as well to gun down 2. Now he's trying from the back of the fencing, but they won't get their opening kill just yet. Still decent damage, you know, softening them up early. Liquid are comfortable.
Oh, look how... Yeah, they are. No, but now Cirque, at least the one more powerful weapon of the round, is starting to take a forward step into the stairs, and going deep is huge. They also gave up on that one boost at the bottom of the stairs. I think a team flash occurs and they fall off. Might have actually been an opportunity for Cirque, but it looks like they'll get a second chance.
Ooh, now they know. Now they know. That op is in position. And so is Elige. So that could be the call to action on the other side of the map if they want to head back to A, but they'd have to do that in 30 seconds.
Yes, and it looks like they might, but yeah, now they've got to full commit. No, the bomb is starting to peel back as well. A couple CTs spotted. Elige will at least get one. Ooh. Does this cause rotations is the question, and Breeze just takes out Shox. Not only that, though, he waited so long that now they have to fully commit to the site, and he's got a better gun.
Oh, he drops bomb, dies to OC, who's working with the A1S. Needs to move forward, and somebody else has to grab that bomb because OC's hands are busy. 10 seconds. Stewie, he could just try and rush down this bomb plant if need be. All 3 CTs here on the cusp of the site, and the bomb, it's not going to be planted. EG! They stack that site with only Breeze, and Shox's misconception that the bomb site felt open as he was being just lurked on by Breeze.
And you brought up something really important, that they had Elige at this out on the A site. The irony is that if they had not had that option, they just thought about committing to B, they might have had a better chance if they just stayed grouped. But then Elige saw one, he got a kill, he actually got away alive, and then they wasted some time on the clock going back and forth between A site and B site, really hard for the guys in the middle to know what's the actual best idea. Of course, we can see everything going on, but EG did a good job of making that round very complicated for Team Liquid.
EG explode onto the board. Good way to kickstart your CT side. Liquid forced to lean back with this heavy utility down ramp.
We saw Cirque have a really strong Vertigo match earlier on in this event, but it was one where he only got started late into the game. Here, he's starting out hot from round 1. Also doing a good job of keeping the op alive even if they lose their round. One specific problem with EG was their A-ramp control and presence. They didn't seem to have the best protocols for dealing with it. Got caught between wanting to take control of ramp, but also not being in strong positions to fight it favorably. And so you get setups like this, which I don't really personally like. And Liquid can sense the pressure. They're not going to overextend. And Stewie up here, if they peek on the ramp like this, can be good for the first kill.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But Liquid would have to make a mistake, basically.
We'll see if this layered element to the setup is a little bit easier to handle. The first peek comes above the headshot. Stewie falls off quick, so ultimately it's just Rush, kind of stuck in the no man's land. Automatic, even despite his best efforts, just gets that one. So again, that setup facing ramp, T's just kind of swarm you, and it's hard for Stewie to justify just standing up there if he's not able to get a quick kill.
Well, that's why I had to point out that Liquid have to make a mistake for that to work, right? If they do a regular swing, then it's 2 people looking at one, okay. But if Elige does that perfectly like he did, senses that there's no other pressure anywhere else, we've cleared out sandbags, no one's peeking on the ramp, and we've seen EG try this re-aggression before, okay, maybe they are playing the crane position. Which again, antiquated spot, people do not do this at the top level anymore. I just don't see enough pro players doing it where I'm like, I feel confident. Every time we watch this, I point it out when we're casting.
Yep.
It always goes wrong. I mean, almost always. And right there, when Elige peaks, the perfect example. He shoulders, they both see him, they both shoot, and now suddenly, they're terrified. They have no way to fall back, they have no piece of cover, and the T's can play with them however they want. And if they fall out of that setup, they don't have a setup anymore. Nowhere to fall back to whatsoever. So Liquid, again, just not making a mistake is all they needed to dismantle EG in that position. And that's why we need to have plays like we would see from Art, where he would go down the ramp. Elige will do it on the CT side, just like Art does. And actually, one of the few select players that will be willing to do the lap around the ramp and take lower ramp control. You know, Furia these days are going all the way to take bottom box control, which people don't do anymore.
Furia things.
Exactly. And not everyone is capable of that, but they need to do something like it. Because this is not working. You Kinder Smoke, 3 riflers peeking down, that kind of thing makes a lot of sense. Something like this.
We get a bit of that adaptation now.
Yeah.
Enough to at least force the T's back initially, but this also opens up a bit of a warp zone through mid for Liquid to try and abuse. In fact, Breeze just wins his duel over towards the B site. So that's an added bonus here for Evil Geniuses. You know, you may win or lose that A ramp. You may have to forfeit control, but at least you've got a man advantage from the B site, and that's not going to happen all the time. The same way Breeze was able to shoot shocks in the back of the head. That kind of moment's not going to happen every time, but when these rare occasions do unfold, we've already seen EG utilize it for the round win. So for their sake, fingers crossed, they close man advantage in this. Instead, Liquid, they decide to go and try to redeem Shox' death. Elige will be the front runner. Boost a player over wall. And if that's the case, there's nobody close from Evil Geniuses in the sense of playing behind quad box. It is just back behind green. So there is most certainly room for Liquid to at least get a few steps closer to the site. And as utility reigns over, we get the rotate immediately in from Stewie 2K. Elige cut off the instant he comes around that corner, and now Liquid, you know that the confidence is just draining from their bodies because they are trying to get out in a very difficult position despite man disadvantages. It's 3 in a row from Liquid, now the 1v2 from OC, and this is where his value comes through. He's got the bomb back, fake plant, 15 seconds, sees it, and nails it! Rush is down, and Liquid is up, 6 rounds to 1.
Man. Non-stop thunderous flicks from OC. That is actually unbelievable, man. How fast that was.
He said it himself. He wants to be one of the names in North America that strikes fear in the hearts of his opponents. He wants his enemies to be nervous when he is in these kinds of moments, and add that to the highlight reel. That's why. This shot. Boom!
Oh my god, dude. You know, big adjustment, small adjustment. So fast, it looks like one move. That's the OC special.
Catches the player close. Elige, high alert because OC just caught that little glimpse of rush. And in this already difficult situation, EG now down 4v5.
Oh, I feel for them on that. How does that flash not blind Elige for like 4 seconds or more? Okay, well, they'll
that'll
get
help.
one back. Yes, do it. And then they'll also have Zerg to help with the crossfire. He'll get chased down eventually. And they have info at least on Stewie, but we'll still remain careful here. And Nitro is still searching out Heaven.
Double flank.
Oh, man.
But a second. That's the thing.
Not again. Come on, man. OC's unkillable.
And then Stewie just gets caught with knife out, comes at it with the deagle, but Nitro's lurk works, and OC, difference maker, back-to-back rounds.
I think he reloads faster than other operas.
It could happen.
He's bolting up.
Yeah. Put all his stat points in dexterity.
Yeah. Filthy dex abuser that he is.
Evil Geniuses calling their first tactical pause of this map as they trail by 6.
Tough, man. Yeah, very sharp Liquid. Bit of egg on their face after, their match versus 0-0, who go on to really, have some of the poorest stats in the tournament versus the other teams after making themselves look like gods versus Team Liquid. And now Liquid are not that same team anymore whatsoever.
Long have we waited for the OC supremacy. Give the man a team like Liquid. And he is just glowing at the moment. 12-2. Safe to say Cirque's going to have his hands full tonight.
Yeah, definitely feels like it. And that, the B-site clutch that he grabs, that starts off, I think, 2v4. They start to trade down effectively with the remaining utility that they had. Leash looks to threaten on the A ramp. Seen him turn into a bit of a lurker. See if they have a read on EG's money. If they expect an op or not. It's, well,
I want to see that one.
expecting the op or not, doesn't seem to matter.
Delish just heard that fall.
Oh.
Caught by Rush. That's 2 players making sound on short, and then Rush just extending around that back edge.
That was coordinated. It was smart.
Back to the B site they'll go.
They kind of could afford to lose that because they know there's 3A. So they know there's 1B, but the rotations could come in. Liquid still moves slowly, but we've seen how vicious they can be on these attacks.
The timing. Again, Shock's just getting a few steps ahead of Breeze's expectations. Good double up from Shock's. Just pops this B site wide open, gives Liquid an undeniable 8th round win. And Automatic, brother, save. He's going to get flashed. Nitro comes through. Can't finish off Rush. But alas, still a victory here for Liquid, as this T side is just momentous.
Yeah, with those 2 guns, they could have actually dropped 2 per, I think, and still bought up next round. Instead, they're going to have an awkward amount of money, or I think they could invest in rifles, but have be very low in utility. Not everyone get an AK. Beautiful round from Shocks, has to be said. He's the guy that we got to look at right now. Definitely the most inconsistent player on the team, on a team with an incredibly strong core. They just need to have a slightly higher floor on him and Nitro, and there's really no questions about the roster overall. And it looks like he's pretty comfortable, at least right now. Liquid are playing A1 CS right now. Very few gaps, covering every option for the CT side. These attacks look very well drilled. Now they can wait out the smoke if they like to, take it slow. They still have the control that they need. Doc will take a peek, digs through the wall. Stewie will finish Cirque off.
Not the best of ways to hold the A site. An unfortunate one, but rather this round than any other. Pistols only. Wasn't meant for this world. 9-1, Liquid's T side. Oh, do you hear this little French accent? I know that was Shocks.
They're getting brutalized, man.
He said, I love playing as the Americas RMR.
So easy over here, isn't it?
I will say, you know, nothing. I can sit here and I can question the consistencies of Shox, and I can question the decision of Liquid to bring him in, and as opposed to, like, you know, a potential another star. But I really do respect the challenge he took on in leaving French CS and coming to do something completely different.
Enormous, yeah.
A guy who must know, like, you know, as he's seen with other legends that he's played with, like RPK, he's towards the end of his career. And to take on a new challenge and such a big challenge, that's mad respect.
Yeah, he had a huge decision to make, and of course he wouldn't have left Vitality if he had the choice. And it honestly almost barely made sense that Vitality cut him at the point that he did, but it was already a decision that probably was in place from some time ago.
Yes.
So it just built up his stock a little bit before the move. But insane that, you know, this is your first time not playing on a French team, and it's like 10 years into the career in CSGO. So, all right. Well, opening kill here for Cirque and EG specifically. That's the key part. They have lost a 5v4 already this game, so you don't want to call it too soon. And Shox has been vicious on his, I'm going to call him lurks up the A ramp. He hasn't had a lot of support for these plays. He's just kind of relying on his rifle and finding openings and shaking the setup up a little bit, fading out some utility.
Ooh, poor OC trying to entry there with a pistol. Not ideal, as the players towards the ramp actually got flashed, so Shox wasn't able to come in and help, and that's just a rock-solid hold from Evil Geniuses.
Beautiful.
Finally something that goes their way from start to finish with guns.
Yeah, kicks off with the Cirque 5v4, and then the rotations are so fast. I mean, Stewie's in the site along with Automatic, and that was before Breeze having to deal with the B-split coming in. If Cirque had died earlier on, then there's a problem there. So plenty of support this time around. Right play, right call. And I feel like EG kind of efficiently surveyed the A ramp so that they were clear that it wasn't going to be an A play sooner. That probably helped their confidence a little bit as well.
Stewie going through.
Stewie, yeah, that's a good one. And
that's Stewie.
That's Stewie, definitely.
Oh, but Nitro, wild spray down. Now we're just launching. Everybody draining the magazines. Shoot enough bullets, something will land.
Oh,
Shox. Oh, he catches Rush with nades out. I thought Shox was about to put his head on a silver platter. Turns out Rush was the appetizer.
Yeah, an enormous kill for the flow of the round. Now Automatic will refresh in Rush's spot, but they seem keen on punishing the aggression. We'll see who wins the duel. Oh my god, headshots going through the floor, but Automatic comes out ahead. 3v2 in favor of the CTs.
And he also hurt OC's scope as he was walking up prior to getting that kill just now versus Naf. Confirms that there is at least a second player towards this A site, or so there was 15 seconds ago. Shox looking for an opening towards top mid, it seems. And right now, Cirque is actually pulled between both B site and middle.
Yeah.
We're starting to get Breeze to come back from elevator, but for the time being, you know, Shox, or rather, excuse me, OC, he can get all the way up the B ramp. What does that tell Shox? Trajectory of an elevator play. Breeze is going to try to cross. Oh,
he was
unspotted.
And he could walk up to heaven.
15 seconds.
Could be two right here. They have to wait for him.
Oh, Shox sticks it to the first and easily cuts down Breeze as well. Another man disadvantage slipping the way, but how about the B peak? Oh my god! Automatic just lines him up at the final second. They thought they had that hook, line, and sinker.
They came back to swing on him too. Man. Oh, the play is in vain, but you know
Lovely.
what? They got a lot out of that.
Lovely stuff.
Okay, and at the end of Vitality, we're talking the end of 2021, when Shox is at his best, he's lurking. And we're seeing that so much right now. And even though it's like he looks like he's the entry fragger on B-site Vertigo, I think the difference is a lurker doesn't have utility as support, and Shox is doing a lot of this by himself. But again, that's when he's working the best. And to be honest, that's when the communication is probably the easiest for him as well. If he is the guy to take the lead, he can transfer to the rest of his team, but he doesn't have to ask for things, which is where things might get sticky. So also, he found the gap on mid. I mean, on every map later in the round, less people are watching mid. If there's any number of CTs that are dead, that can be a good place to go. But you don't often see in a 2vx the two guys split up with one going mid on Vertigo. You just don't see that often. So that was a really cool move by him. And damn near won the round. I mean, he even was aware of the fact that Automatic was going to try to rotate in from the stairs and nearly got that kill.
No way.
Man.
3 instant kills? What is this? Pedal to the metal. Automatic looking to save the day in a back-to-back round. There's only 30 health for Nitro and OC to work with together.
But they have the site.
And the plant that's going to come with it. Big question around Nafly here. Is
Do they have an HE? Oh man, they could have killed this bomb planter, yeah.
Could still.
They will, actually.
Yeah, Nitro's down. His Molotov cuts the second CT off for the time being, but another nade
could work too.
on the money. Back-to-back. The mortar strikes, but as
Molly.
Rush dies, the Molotov lands on his dead body. Automatic's going to tap that bomb. Naf has to come through desperately, and Automatic wins again. 14-9. Outshining everybody else in the server with 2 round wins to his name alone.
I love that. There could be a small temptation to stick, but you know that the guy on the other side realizes you're probably going to stick, so he's going to come barreling through, and Automatic gives himself the chance to shoot back. That's beautiful stuff from him. Back-to-back clutch rounds, back-to-back 3Ks, I think, as well. Knocking 2 off of Heaven. It was a surprising of all the players when Tim came back. Just, I mean, looked so good right like off the debut when we saw it blast. That's not to say he's been perfectly consistent throughout, but the qualification games for the major, that's the one that matters the most, of course. So, all right.
They're trying to run back.
This mid-B stuff that's going on.
Yeah, they just tried to rinse and repeat that previous round. This time, though, it's that passive op angle from Cirque and Elevator. And Breeze able to turn around and cut off the one guy who got through. 4 versus 2.
Cirque down to his last 20 health.
OC and Nitro going to try this one again. And OC decides to take a couple steps forward as the construction remains smoked.
Oh, bomb is late to be planted.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a vanilla setup right now. I think they'll need a little bit more ingenuity if they're going to win this out. But there is no B-stairs flank. It really comes down to how paranoid they are about it. That'll make the difference. Oh my god, a fresh smoke bomb is halfway ticked.
Yep. And OC, he's just going to press himself right underneath construction. This could catch them off guard. He's inside. They cross paths. He gets behind them. Oh, OC! He gets 2 kills, but the other CTs are on the other end. He jumps up, and he almost gets 4 again. But Rush will end it. And Evil Geniuses, they jump on bomb with no kit, so this one's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it looks like...
Right down to the wire.
Oh, but they've got it. Oh, Rush just barely. My god, OC is insane.
Bro.
He used the gap on both sides of the smoke, right? From the lower part to watch Heaven, got through the smoke, got his 2K, and then jumped up and used the same crack from the opposite perspective to kill one of 2 players and do half the damage on the other. And this is the ingenuity that we're talking about. 2v4 situation, you're not going to win this playing your regular spot. You're going to get cleared, you're going to get crushed by utility, and then you're going to eventually lose. Clutch by Rush. Another clutch from EG. 3 of the 5 rounds they've won have been the 1vx already.
Hanging on, man. They're hanging on. They're doing enough to at least try and keep things competitive, but Nitro catching Stewie on the yellow push. Man advantage again, slipping the way of Liquid.
They didn't smoke down. Where did Stewie die? I don't know if he was...
Pushed down the behind the tarp. Right there.
I wonder if they missed it or something.
Things are getting wild after all.
Yeah. Could have been on purpose. Line up the sandbags Molotov. And I like the spawn a lot from Cirque. I think it's important for him to play with confidence. I think the...
Nice. Automatic still has cover. Yeah. Makes a little bit more room for him to work. Goes back at it. Finds Naf looking away from the flash, so that's great, but his gun went dry. Hey, look, it's OC in another clutch. And he's got Shocks next to him. The 2 highest performers for Team Liquid. OC's going to commit to that bomb plant. Cirque's looking for him as he comes off. Ooh, give him a shoulder and you'll give him a kill. Shocks more cautious about a flank, but that's not coming. And unfortunately, even with OC's death, he doesn't confirm that Rush is also alongside Cirque. So there's just this unknowingness that Shocks has to play against on top of man disadvantage and only having 18 HP.
Cirque has to be the one to stick this, so this will come down to Rush trying to stop it.
Nade won't be enough.
Ah, there it is. Goes wide. Well played, and another round won by EG. You know, when all things are said and done, Liquid definitely, like, they played so well in this half that they could have even, if they won these 1v1s,
Yes.
you know, this would have been
12-3.
not even close. And they did probably try the mid Bs way too often. That's something that they kept copying and pasting for some reason, but they already got so much value out of the half of the 9 rounds. I feel like they've destroyed the confidence of EG at the very least, but EG scraped some back there right at the end in the final few moments. Now, yeah, Cirque playing this position, I just want to say, like, I think this is really representative of what we need from Cirque. Even when he's playing super well, I think he just sometimes plays a little too safe. And he can fall back so easily off a first kill, and he knows, you know, every safe position to fall back to. But when he's hitting shots like he is, I almost sometimes, I want him to go for like that, you know, not one re-peek, but one off angle, not quite exactly that perfect fallback position. Play out in the open like he was there at Henny. A spot that he can trust his aim, but he will be given a shot. And to do that more, I think that's going to make the difference for him. He's definitely shooting hot right now. I think he needs to lean into it.
The second pistol looks to unfold towards mid, and Elige gonna keep it clean. 3 USP frags towards mid. Shocks, he's gonna tap down Breeze, and it's only Stewie left over. 1 versus 3 attempt. 2 CTs already on top of him. Elige gonna end it.
Damn.
We haven't had to talk about Elige too much. He has been quietly just climbing up the scoreboard.
It's because he's been lurking A. They've been hitting B so much, and he's actually, in a weird way, he's like lurking very aggressively, getting to the corner of the A ramp all the way up there by himself a number of times, and they've left that open. That's something a little bit different. I feel like I haven't seen him go that far that often, but maybe it's this idea of keeping options open on both sides on the T side. But yeah, obviously he's definitely been killing people, that's for sure. Sharp pistol from Elige.
That's 2 pistol wins for Liquid. Grouping up side of the B site. Unarmored Glocks. Not the best. Who's going to die? Is it Shocks? Or does Shocks and Naf just rack up the money? If they could find them on like a mistimed reload, then maybe we're talking business. Odds are we're talking dominance. Little jump over. That's an easy pickup for Shocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy moly, I want one more. And it's not going to happen. Naf going to at least say, like, bro, share some? But that is big money for Shoxy. At a 5th now in between Liquid and EG. Look at that scoreboard, folks. 5 rounds in a row for EG to close that half. Whew. 3 of them by way of defuse.
Yeah.
And I believe 3 of them by way of 1v1.
1v1s,
so
yeah.
really, like, the score's there. The nature of the rounds.
It's like enough leverage to take the edge off the second half, but
Yeah.
doesn't really help you feel better about the first.
Like, they still have hope. Like the rest of North America, they still have hope. Evil Genius is the immediate buy. So time to see what they do in terms of the ramp plays. Nitro, whoa. Jumping around with the MP9. That's an easy pickup from Automatic. Good trade from Cirque as well, as Elige was forced to come outwards and look for that trade frag. So man advantage at the very least for EG. And remember, lesser guns still for Liquid. Lulquid.
Not today, it seems.
No.
Oh man, this is the #1 re-aggression spot for the CT side, and Sui was spotting it for a second. Okay, he'll come back and watch and punish both. All right, very nicely done. Thought he was going to get timing there after leaving it. Maybe seeing Liquid try to do that later than usual. But this one's a lock, so well done here from EG, winning in the default, crushing the re-aggressions.
Early T-side success will bode well for the Evil Geniuses.
Yep.
Don't forget for a moment, this was that, bonus round for Liquid with the SMG still in the mix. Shocks could technically drop an op for OC if he wants that next round.
I really feel like the most uncomfortable I've seen Shocks is on CT sides. Actually, not even T sides.
Okay.
In certain spots when he's playing Inferno, for example. But that was also, a lot of that was around the time of the debut, so it's been a lot of time since then. And I think Vertigo overall is a map that they're probably very comfortable on. That even Shocks coming from Vitality. So just want to kind of pay attention to him on the B site. See how well he works together.
Ooh, I like that. Aw, misses the mark.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just trying to take somebody down with bomb, but would have had to been a really good grenade. Like really, really good.
Really, really good.
As Pimp would say.
3-round game.
You want to try that again?
4-round game.
NA minor, NA math. All right, we got a timeout from Liquid. Yeah,
good.
you got to crunch the numbers in a situation like this because Elysian OC is still mid 3,000. Like, you know, Shocks because he got all those MP9 kills. Is you could drop an MP9 over. Oh, he bought the op. Or no, Nitro did. Oh, sorry. Shocks to Nitro to OC. Playing hot potato with it. So who gets limited?
It's a solid buy.
Just Shocks hanging on to the MP9, and Elysian will have all he needs.
It's pretty damn good, actually. Yeah.
It worked out. It's okay. So OC's utility is where the lackluster.
Yeah, that's fine. They got the B utility on point. Lots of Molotovs, so they made that work.
But now it has to work, or else EG are right back into this. Shocks gets boosted quickly. Oh, and they're running right into him. They did not expect it, but he got caught
Yeah, he got
on
caught,
the
but
corner.
he still lived.
Amazing. Naflight comes back with the A1S, and look at them go. Naf and Shocks for 3 kills and a 4th, just like that B-hold with their MP9s versus pistols, but this time they just mow down the AK-47s of Evil Geniuses, which will definitely dent the bank accounts of EG and help those of Liquid. Shocks making mad money as he goes 21 and 11 right now. Both him and Shocks surviving that initial setup.
Where did that flash come from, though? If Shocks was peeking, I can't assume that it was his own team's flash. I guess it must have been his own team's flash if it popped behind him. So even though he got caught on the wall, he had an opportunity to just get out of there safely.
Oh!
Well, okay. I heard Rush hasn't been hitting the gym because he's been DMing so much. Looks like it's showing. 50 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is not in a perfect position for the CT side. There's a reasonable chance for him to grab it, but Elige is happy to peek. As Shocks causes a distraction. Nice couple of kills at the end. And these are kills that actually still matter, still early on in the second half of this game.
Rush had high hopes for that one.
5K per head.
Nice to see him keeping it crisp. Those AK shots on point, but so is Shocks. And now he's able to get that free AK upgrade as well. Be gone, MP9. Rush to the Tech 9. Throw some utility towards mid, tucks top ladder. And it's looking like Elige, right? We said that, you know, in comparison to Art, Elige is one of these players who will be happy to come down here, play this long lap around the yellow, be within these smokes.
Yes.
And we'll see if it works out for him as Automatic creeps around it. Elige, good recovery there. Crosshair kind of caught between 2 spots, and Elige is caught between 2 positions, falling back. Stewie finds him, and no spam through smoke will return that kill or man advantage to the hands of Liquid. More utility thrown down, and things cool off.
Yeah, but look, this is the spot I'm talking about. Liquid already just love the way they're playing the ramp way more than what EG did, and Shocks going to refresh position, but also with an op behind him. So OC going to reinforce this setup tremendously. There's no way back into this round.
Or is there?
Whoa, actually, Breeze. 2 insane frags. Opper goes down. 2v2 situation, and Nitro is quite low as he starts to peel back. Options are open, and Liquid have to be worried that the A-site hit could still come, so this might be a free plant open for EG. 2-on-4 situation. And the ferociousness from Breeze there. Now they'll search out the A-ramp, not see anything, and start to go lower, but are they going to try to work on a double flank? This is going to be quite slow. If one shows themselves, they would, I think, be inclined to believe that one is still CT spawn. So there's a chance for the CT side to get away with this. Of course, it comes down to this next kill.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do. Naf's going to use Nitro as just a bait. Nitro comes up. Oh, Breeze has seen the first one, but they do not turn around. They keep their eyes back behind them, and a 2 versus 4 because of Breeze. And you know, we talk about Cirque shots. We talk about Automatic standout performance right now. This was Breeze's first real highlight moment and a 2v4 off the back of it, because I was right there with you. There's no way back in.
Dude,
OC locks them down with the ops. Everything looks good. And Breeze, those 2 headshots up ramp, reopens the round and reopens EG's chances, because if not, they're down into the saves, and we have Liquid maybe running away with Vertigo instead.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The game
at
goes
that
on.
moment, so 3 people peeking down the ramp. And actually, all the money from Liquid is gone, evaporated.
This is a big force buy from them. Automatic gonna eat a flash. Delays his peak to try and catch what was just Nitro on the CZ. Worst case, if A site crumbles immediately, just transition into that CT save, but it looks like they're going to try to get ahead of this right before Evil Geniuses commit to this ramp play. Nitro's deciding to run forward. He just catches nobody watching. They're passing around the bomb. OC kills Rush at the very least. Oh, what? A triple! Elige with the FAMAS makes this one look winnable. Just like Breeze in the previous round, he has no business taking it back.
What have we just witnessed?
And Automatic is only holding on to 17 points of health for this 1 versus 2. This is Elige's moment to shine with that FAMAS. 3 instant kills, lining them up on the ramp play. But Automatic swaps over to the AK. Now his Molotov, if he throws it on Elige, burns him out. Smoke off towards elevator, possibly to section off 1v1s, or just try to creep forward and catch Elige by surprise. Instead, he's going to go for that plant. Elige decides to jump up and ends it with nothing but ease. Liquid's 13th. What a peak with that FAMAS.
Man, they had so much support behind that push as well, and that's the kind of play you don't really want to see on full rifles. Where those CTs are dying, that's when it gets the sketchiest. But around like that, they had just pistols.
Why not?
Yeah, they had the FAMAS kept in the back line, and this awkward angle where the Ts are thinking, all right, we're alleviating the pressure. We get 1 kill, we get 2 kills, and then there's just a rifler way far back behind that and a powerful line. I don't want to overanalyze that situation. That's just a ridiculous round from Elige with a FAMAS of all guns to take down 3 rifles. That's the firepower you know he has, of course.
Oh,
That's just actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to think too much about that. I think up until that moment, I would still say this is a fine situation for the T side. They're about to equalize. They'll tip the scales after the first kill, but I mean,
that's a stroke of lady luck, man.
I mean, yeah.
If even one of those,
I cannot spray the FAMAS. Okay, I can't spray the FAMAS. I am amazed by people who can. So we'd just like to say that is really nice.
and he gets away with less than 10 health. Like, that is a fine margin. Finally, it feels like something that goes the way of Liquid. You think of all those 1vx's that EG used to keep this game competitive? Well, that's Liquid's stroke of luck. Woo! Nice control from Shoxy.
Okay.
4 kills versus the pistols of EG, but just a nice clean close. Doesn't give them an opening, doesn't give them a bomb plant. An AK in their hands could have been, you know, another moment for things to swing back, but the pendulum stays the way of Liquid. And so will this comfortable lead. 6 rounds over EG, 2 to go to close Vertigo. Liquid's map pick.
Like, why is the FAMAS spray so hard? I mean, it's a gun that you have to fall back, and everything on the CT side is so expensive. There's so many better options, and yet you have to spray in an S. A Galil, you don't even have to aim. How is that fair?
It's not that you don't have to aim it, it's that you can't aim it.
Ooh.
It's not even a choice.
Right.
I firmly believe the Galil spray pattern is the only gun that changes every time.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Well, Shock's going down.
Speak of the Galil. Stewie cracks open the B site. But that doesn't mean that A is open. Cirque's still floating down here with the op. CT's gonna keep this one split, 2-2. EG walk back A.
Nitro ready to take his peek and leave from this position. Oh, Automatic with a nice hard clear on him. Make sure he doesn't try that.
It's gonna have to be OC and Elige. Elige starts to empty his utility. Smoke and fire here for OC to peek around with. The flash was on point, and the smoke actually blocks off Breeze, so OC's found a way to cut off these individual fights, but he can't get more than one. It's going to have to be the two teammates behind them, and they get caught looking the wrong way as Rush doubles down, giving EG 9.
Yeah. They try what they can. Kind of set up like pre-fire positions there. That smoke obfuscated so many T's visions when they were coming up the ramp that OC actually got
nice.
a one-on-one fight.
Yep.
But even that was traded again. Not exactly where you wanted it to take place.
Something really interesting going on at the end of that line.
I wish I want to know.
Malik of Evil Geniuses. Speaking of, at the start of this series, I said, props to Shox for kind of taking on this crazy project that really seems out of his world and comfort zone. Add Malik to the mix.
Definitely.
Anybody who has the stomach to come to North America, I respect you.
Yeah. They are, I guess the one thing is they don't even have to actually come to North America, right?
True.
They get the, well,
North America comes to you.
Yeah. Are EG in Monaco? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay. That's just a vacation.
Pressure here from the utility. It feels like that MP9 of Elige just wants to go through, but he's down to 37, so this flash has to be good. Oh, he gets the off. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
2 kills to the MP9. Shox is going to press up close to wood. Now, he's only using that deagle, right? This is lesser weapons for the side of Liquid, but it goes unchecked. And Shox doubles down just as well as Elige. Leaves Rush alone, stranded, and done for. The swap to the op is Elige's 3rd and Liquid's 15th.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I know Elige. I mean, he watches Art. He does what Art does on the ramp. I literally saw Art get this exact same 2K versus Complexity like 2 days ago. I'm not saying that has anything to do with demos. It's just a coincidence, okay? I wanted to point it out.
Okay. Elige doesn't just watch art, he creates art.
Okay. So I'm trying to be cool.
You make it difficult, Trying to keep up. Come on, Elige, what you got? What's your next move?
The most annoying smoke in the whole game.
Art
they know he's there, but they can't deal with him.
Flash over. Ooh, finds Cirque burst. A second from Elige. Nap also adding to the tally. Nitro comes in to help, and it's done.
Oh, it's done.
We've got Liquid 16-9 over EG on their map pick. And honestly, you think back to the first half and all those crazy clutches to end it out. This could have been way more of a blowout.
Yeah, definitely.
The game felt close, and there was even life in the second half as well for Evil Geniuses, but ultimately Liquid, it felt like, there were multiple rounds that just barely went the way of EG.
Yeah.
Liquid didn't get that luck until the very, very end. They ice it out.
I don't really care who wins in these games. I just